Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. How are all of you on our Saturday night episode? It's good to see everybody from all around the world, our international audience of our Levity viewers. And it's nice to see you here today. I hope you had a good day. This is your entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we've done now for, I'd say, about 240 nonstop episodes, which is extraordinary. 7 days a week live, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And sometimes we've even done 2 shows a day when we have a guest who's overseas, some artists and folks in music and television and film in other parts of the world where the time zone is a little bit later. Sometimes we've done some afternoon episodes, and then we'll do an evening show. Good to have everybody with us, and it's so nice to see all the comments that are already coming in. If you're just joining us for the very first time, I'm your host, Jim Masters. I do this work professionally in television, radio, multimedia as a television and radio personality, presenter, host, journalist, actor, stage MC, writer, producer, voiceover artist. And we created this show to bring some inspiration, some positivity, some light, love, and levity to the world. And we do it with our conversations and our host chat with our viewers who call themselves the Levities, and also bringing in amazing guests. Many are friends of mine from the worlds of television and film and radio, or Broadway, Hollywood, sports, comedy, food, you name it, inspiration, science, health and wellness. Every show is something different. Every show is unique. And we broadcast out of the home studio here, which is in the greater New York area, between New York and Boston, along the southern New England coast. And again, about 240 episodes we've done of the Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. People for years told me to do a show like this, sort of branching out of my professional work in TV and radio, and so glad that we did. So we welcome everybody. Good to have you with us. We've got an amazing guest, multi-platinum recording artist, singer, actor extraordinaire, Sam Harris is here. We're very excited to have him here, and we toast all of you watching all around the world. We do have an international audience, so we toast you and you and you and you, and we welcome you to our show this evening. It's nice to have you here. We are live. All of our shows are always broadcast live. Also, at the same time, we archive the shows. So you'll be able to see this show on our YouTube channel at JimmasterssTv. And I hope you subscribe to the channel. That way there you can see all the episodes. You can comment during the live show. And also don't forget to click that notification bell, so that way there you don't miss any of our amazing content, which we appreciate. And I know a lot of people tell us they binge watch our shows, which I think is terrific, and all the great guests and all the conversation we have. We're bringing back the lost art of conversation, sort of Dick Cavett and Mike Douglas, Merv Griffin, Johnny Carson style a little bit, with those old school sensibilities, with some of the modern cool vibe of today, taking those two worlds and sort of blending them nicely together. A little bit later, towards the end of the show, we're going to do a little tribute to the extraordinary Larry King, who passed away today. Broadcasting veteran, extraordinary talent. Talk about warm and conversational style. He was one of the very, very best. I always admired him. And if you didn't know, he did pass away peacefully and surrounded by family. So we're going to do a little tribute to Larry at the end. Of course, as a television and radio broadcaster myself, one of the many that I've admired, and he really was one of the greats. We were just celebrating, actually, one of my dear friends, Regis Philbin, not that many months ago, and Hank Aaron, baseball legend, passed, and now we have Larry King. So we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show, but my amazing guest is Sam Harris, and I see a lot of comments coming in here. Really, really nice. Good evening to all the Levities. Dante is here from San Diego, California. Hello, Levities. How is everyone doing? Welcome to Levity Hall. Nice to see you. This will be another exciting live show. You got it, Dante. Nice to see you in San Diego. Thanks for tuning in on our YouTube channel. Starting our beloved Mr. Levity, Jim Masters. Thank you very much, Dante. Appreciate that. Watching in Holland, one of our regular Levity viewers, they call themselves the Levities because I accidentally said light, love, and levity too fast in the summertime, and I said Levity. And from that point on, the viewers, the guests, everybody fell in love with the word Levity. So they call themselves the Levities. They call this Levity Hall. They call me Mr. Levity. And it was a very happy accident. Kind of like Bob Ross used to say, nothing but happy accidents. Good to see you in the Netherlands, Willie. Thanks for joining us. As always, Mary Bishop in Florida. Hello, Jim and Levity friends. Welcome to the hall. Sam, Levity Hall, will catch you. That's perfect. Nice to see you in Florida, Mary. I know you're racing home to get to your screen. That's beautiful. Denise is here. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, Denise, in Ontario, Canada. Hello, Merlin. Hello, Jim and all Levities. Also, welcome Sam to Levity Hall. You're now a Levity. I filled him in on the Levity thing. He says, I love it. I love it. You know, you can get Emmys, Peabodys, Oscars, Tellys, Tonys, Grammys, but when you get a Levity. So lockdown happening in Holland. No more going out on the street after 9 a.m. in the Netherlands, curfew. Then we'll watch the Jim Masters show. Perfect. Denise says, hello, Jim. And we welcome Sam. Been a fan since Star Search. He's now a Levity. Absolutely. He sure is. I told him all about it. And he's warmly accepting the Levity as well. And really, really nice. Gary in Iowa. Hello, Jim and Levities. Good to see you, Gary. Ralph Lampkin Jr. is here. Good evening. Watching in Indiana. Ralph, nice to see you here. Chris and Christopher, Joseph in Ohio. Lights, Levity. You got it, my friend. And welcoming Sam as well. Good evening from St. Augustine, Florida. From Linda. Good evening, Mr. Levity. Good evening, Levities. Good to see you as well, Linda. It's a pleasure to have you here. From New York City, Kathleen Walker. Hi, Jim, and hi, everyone. Nice to see you, Kathleen. Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hi, Jim and Levities. Jen is Zen. From South Africa, our wonderful Juanita, who watches, one of our Levity viewers in South Africa. Hello, Jim, and all the lovely Levities. Nice to see you, Juanita. Always wonderful when you're here. And Jim, is your short velour? It looks soft. Yeah, it's sort of like a velvet. Very, very soft. Very comfy. Very toasty. Very nice and warm on a chilled winter night here in the Northeast. Hi, Jim and Levity friends from Christine in North Carolina. Welcome singer, songwriter, actor Sam Harris to the show tonight. And Linda says, good evening, Sam. You are a Levity now. Well, he sure is. And he's also an extraordinary talent and an amazing individual. He loves what he does. He's so passionate. His diversified career has run the gamut from singer and songwriter to actor on Broadway, film and television, to writer, director, producer, and author, and has now legendary appearances on the premiere season of Star Search. You may remember him originally from, of course, Star Search, when he won $100,000. And of course, another legend television host, of course, Ed McMahon was hosting the show at the time. That gave him a national platform after pulling a weekly audience of more than 25 million viewers a week. I don't think there's any shows that do that anymore, that amount of people. Sam and his powerhouse pop, gospel, and theater-influenced vocals have never looked back. Rolling Stone magazine has listed him as one of the top 100 singers of all time. He's a multi-platinum recording artist with 9 studio albums to his credit. His Motown albums are Sam Harris, and then the follow-up, Sam I Am. The record's Standard Time and Different Stages, produced and conducted by the legendary Peter Matz, have been listed on numerous top 100 records of all time lists. Other albums include Revival and On This Night, Always, Sam Harris Live, The Best of Christmas, and Free, which included the song Change Is on the Way, which was written for and utilized by the Barack Obama campaign. He also co-wrote the song My Reclamation, and which that was penned in response to Proposition 8 and demanded equal LGBT marriage rights. After so many recordings, they posted an online poll where fans chose their favorite songs, and the song titles with the most votes created that collection of Suitcase of Memories, as well as an EP of new acoustic covers of songs selected from his first 2 Motown albums, the Motown Lowdown. It could also be heard on numerous concert guitar artists, guest artists, and cast recordings as well. He's toured extensively in concert around the world, performances, as well as played to sold-out audiences at major venues, including New York's Carnegie Hall, Los Angeles's Universal Amphitheater, London's West End, and even performed with numerous incredible symphonies, including the Boston Pops, and he even participated in Cyndi Lauper's True Colors tour. He's appeared at the White House on numerous television specials, live productions, and been a guest on virtually every talk show from Leno to Fallon. and so much more. He has a wonderful new film out that is actually coming from a play that was in New York and Los Angeles. We'll talk about that. And he also has written a new book, The Substance of All Things, which we're going to talk about as well. He's received a Tony, Outer Critics Circle, and Drama Desk nominations for his work, and so much more. He's extraordinary. And Broadway claim to fame, you name it, Sam Harris has done it. And we're so honored and pleased to welcome him to our show today. Sam, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. And that was just a short list of the things.
Jimmy, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted from hearing about myself. It's like, enough already. Okay. He's old. We get it.
How are you, my friend? Welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I am well. It's a rainy, cold day in Los Angeles, and I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but it's supposed to get up and get down to the 30s, wow, which is not usual here. But I welcome it. I like a little weather. It makes me feel like there's a sense of time, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Harriet in St. Louis says, hello, Sam, from St. Louis, from Harriet.
Hello, Harriet.
Welcome from Willie in the Netherlands watching as well.
Amsterdam is like one of my favorite places in the world.
It's mine too. Hi, Sam, from Kathleen in New York City. You sang the most amazing version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow on Star Search. Unforgettable, of course.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Juanita, South Africa, saying welcome to the show, Sam, as well. And Sherry saying hello, Jim and Levity's. Happy to be here with all of you tonight. Gary in Iowa. Welcome, Levity Sam. So you're a Levity already. All the awards and accolades.
I'm so proud. This is my favorite honor.
The Levity. Everybody says that. Are your feet tingling?
They are. Everything's tingling, and I don't want to talk about that in detail.
Welcome to Levity Hall, Sam. So happy to meet you. From Sherry. Denise says, hi, Sam from Connecticut. Tina says, hi, Jim and Sam. And Chris in Ohio. Hey, Sam Harris. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show. Lydia Watson is mad that you got on the show instead of her.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Tell us more about that, Chris in Ohio. Inquiring minds want to know. It's a pleasure to have you here. And how have you been, with everything going on and sort of the home confinement and the different things going on, to stay sane and positive and creative and connected with everybody, Sam? Because I know you're really a people person and like to be out there sharing your material and your energy and passion. What have you been doing to stay busy? And
Jim, I would not say that's true. I love performing, but I am when I'm not out in the world or doing a show or on tour or doing whatever, I'm very quiet. I'm very at home. I don't like parties. I don't like crowds. I like 2 or 3 people. I like a dinner party of 6 people. I have a husband and a son who's almost 13 in a couple of months. And, but there's such a thing as too much small. There's such a thing as too much isolation, because suddenly my husband and my child are in my house all the time. I don't like that. There they are. That's Danny and Cooper. And
good-looking family. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Cooper's the greatest. And Danny and I have been together for 26 years.
Now, is Cooper, you see some signs of a performer and entertainer in him at all?
Well, yes. But he would probably, like if I ask him to do it, if we ask him to do such and such for someone, he won't do it. He's not interested in performing, but he is one funny guy. He is hysterically funny, and his humor, he makes adults laugh. He makes the kids laugh. The impressions, the voices, the characters, the dryness. But the thing is, I am so grateful, because when he was born, I wished 2 things: health and humor.
Yes.
Because if you have that, health is a given, but if you have humor, you can get through anything. I mean, my God, if I didn't have humor, you're talking about levity, if I didn't have something to balance the crazy, or the difficult times in my life and the tragic times that have happened, if I wasn't able to see it through another lens and find the humor in it or find the cinematic outside place of it, I would have gone crazy a long time ago. So I wished him health, humor, and an enormous penis. And we shall see if that happens. But I'm just, if you have those three things, Jimmy. Anyway.
Then you're on your way.
You're on your way, baby.
You are on your way. Well, they're saying a beautiful family. God bless and congratulations on 26 years. Welcome, Sam, to the Jim Master Show Live. You're now a Levity. So excited you could join us. Hey, Sam, welcome. Jen is zen that you're here. Tina says, welcome, Sam, from the Poconos of Pennsylvania. Have you ever been to the Poconos in Pennsylvania over the years?
I have not. It's one of the few. I've been to Pennsylvania, certainly, but not the Poconos.
Going back in time a little bit, of course, Star Search we know was, and I know you've talked about it a lot over your career, that was a pivotal moment. But even before Star Search, when you were growing up in Oklahoma, what were there, and if there were, what were some of those inspirations you may have had to go into performance, to realize you wanted to perform, you wanted to sing, you wanted to act, you wanted to lift people's spirits and connect with them? Were there inspirations within the family at all? Other people who sang, performed, or were you sort of that breakout that said, this is my path, my passion, what I wanted to do?
Well, my father was a high school band director, and he loved music. There was always music in the house, for everything from classical to whatever was happening pop wise to certain Broadway shows. He especially liked the pop Broadway shows. And my mother had been, an actress in high school and college, and she loved the arts, and she would read poetry to me. And, so it was there, it was available, but growing up in a small rural town in Oklahoma, wasn't exactly the center of show business. So I think that, I watched like old movie musicals from a very young age and really got it and really understood it. And I would say, here's where I'm lucky, Jimmy, is I knew what I wanted to do when I was like 3. I knew what brought me joy. I knew what gave me a means of expression. And during my life in Sand Springs, Oklahoma, while it was a really great place to grow up in a small town, it was the Bible Belt. It was a very strong, Bible thumping, fire and brimstone environment. And here I was, this little gay kid. And so my music and my writing, because I was writing very young too, not quite at 3. My music and my writing and my theater sense and my fantasies were my coping mechanisms. They were the place where I could put my energy into something positive that saved my soul. So the base was set by my parents, but I was lucky. And here's the thing. I was talented, and I knew that. I knew that I had a gift, and I knew very young that what I wanted to do with that gift. And my husband Danny often says about our son Cooper. He's 12. He does so many things great. But he's not supposed to know what it is he wants to be. He's 12 years old. He's not supposed to know. And sometimes I'll be. If he doesn't want to watch some, movie and get whatever I got out of it when I was 10 or 8 or whatever. And Danny says, Sam, you're the weirdo. You're the anomaly. You can't expect a 12-year-old child to be like sobbing and crying because they just watched, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. So yeah. I'm the weird one, and I recognize that. So the trick as a parent then is to introduce my kid to as many things as possible and let him find his way in his time. Because I was the outsider, but at the same time, it was really a saving grace. I mean, back to your question, it saved my butt,
And early on, when you were pursuing what you wanted to do, I know you worked at theme parks, and you really put the time and attention in because you were on a path and you really, I've seen you say a couple of times before in other conversations, you really, really have to love it. You have to be passionate. You can't be half in any of these kinds of industries that we're in. You really got to do it because the blood, the sweat, the tears, the sacrifice, the rejection, the toil. You actually left home early, around 15, as you were pursuing what you wanted to do, realizing that probably, in the small town atmosphere, some of those opportunities, though there might be, localized opportunities, there weren't going to be the larger opportunities and doors opening that New York or LA or other areas would bring to you, right?
Yeah. And on top of that, I think at a young age, it was also about needing to find my tribe, needing to find others like me. And because I felt like I was an outsider and a misfit, I found other tribes when I was growing up. Like I decided when I was like around 10 or so that I desperately wanted to be Jewish. Not so much for the religion as the oppression, because I felt this tribesmanship with the repression, the oppression.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I found like the only, temple, not in my little town, but in Tulsa. And I became fascinated with the plight of the Jews and, of course, the Holocaust and everything. And then when I was a little older, and I was introduced to the Black church because I'd always sung, then all of a sudden Black people were my people because I understood the freedom of what they were singing. And it wasn't how they sang, it was why. And it was a completely revelatory experience for me. So that became my tribe. So here I am, this, vanilla white boy growing up in the South, and my people were these outsiders. And so then I needed to find my tribe in theater and in song and in music and in writing. And when I left home, I was able to find those people who shared those passions. And I look at a 15-year-old now, and my kid is almost 13. I'm like, how did my parents ever say, go, enjoy, find your path? Right. I don't know how they did that. I look at 15-year-olds and I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. They could barely, cross the street. Yeah. But I was so focused. Jim. I was so driven. I was so focused and so needed to find myself, find my people, that it was great. And you're right. What you say to people about you have to want it with all of your heart. I think that's true because there are a lot of sacrifices. There is so much rejection, but there's that 10,000. What's it called? Maybe that 10,000 hour thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think
it's this thing where they've looked at people who are successful in different fields, and if they have invested 10,000 hours by the time they're 18 or something, they have a bit of an advantage. And 10,000 hours means, like, if you're a dancer, then you have put 10,000 hours into dancing, which means you've done it 6 hours a day, which means it's been your life. You've been watching it, doing it, trying it. Yeah. And I had certainly put in 10,000 hours because I loved it. It was my everything. And most of the things I did with other people, it was because I dragged them into my world.
Yeah.
Right. I dragged them in.
Right, exactly. And you were finding your voice and you were figuring out who you were and what contributions you wanted to make to society while you were honing your craft, right?
Yeah, and the great thing about youth is this is still true for me now. I need to be able to fail. I need to be able to fail. I need to be in places where I can fail to find the truth and to find what works and what doesn't. Right. And, growing up and when I left home and I was in these little nasty, dark, really horrible little clubs and things, and I was failing and looking at what I wanted to copy and emulate and learn and what my perspective was and my persona and my style. And that is trial by error. You don't just all the people that we love and admire, whether they're singers or actors, they didn't just roll out of bed and that's how they were and that was their style and that was their thing. It's years of honing that persona, that style, by studying and by being a student of life, you know?
Exactly right. What early on for you, Sam, were some of those doors by putting in the 10,000 hours and then some over those years early on that really opened up? Of course, Star Search, and we'll talk about that in a second, but even before Star Search, there were things you had to do and work you had to put in and time spent in order to even get to a Star Search situation. Tell us about some of those earlier pre-Star Search doors, maybe that did sort of open up for you, or that you just saw people really starting to pay attention
Wow.
to your talent and who you were and said, this kid's got chops. He's all in.
Well, when I moved to Los Angeles, first of all, I went to school. I left home, as you said, at 15. I finished high school through correspondence courses. I didn't graduate there, but then I did go to UCLA for 2 years, and which was really amazing because I convinced me and a co-writer friend of mine, Bruce Newberg, convinced the dean of fine arts at UCLA to let us write, produce, and star in a gigantic musical called Hurry, Hurry, Hollywood. So the entire second year of my college was spent doing this project. I didn't even go to classes. They like made up grades for me. So you talk about what experiences. I was so driven, and you can do this when you're young because ignorance is bliss. And I just wanted to be seen, and I could convince anybody of anything. Let me sing for you. Please listen to me. I drove around in parking lots at grocery stores with my windows rolled down and sang out of them so people would say, oh my God, what was that? Who was that? I did everything. And we convinced this dean. And then after that second year of college, I didn't need to go any further because they had given me the greatest, education possible. And then playing all these dumpy dives and finding my tribe there, because there were a number of people and we would sing backup for each other and we would help each other with arrangements. And I mean, we're talking about places that you don't want to see in the light, like dark.
Yeah.
And I got $25 a night. I remember that.
Smoky places, dark.
Smoky and dark, but sort of magical and romantic in a really scuzzy, wonderful way.
Right.
And we were just a bunch of kids who loved what we did, and we helped each other, and it was really great. It was really important.
Yeah.
And so by the time, and then I started doing my stuff on my own. And I was at this, you were talking about when I started to get attention, there was this little theater called Theater. And it was on a theater row in Los Angeles, 50 seats. Like this was like the size of my living room, right? 50 seats. And I played there for 5 or 6 months, and I had backup singers called the International Pancakes. And I did this show there for all this time. And then Star Search happened. They saw me. They started to get attention. It was in like Los Angeles Magazine. They called the people that were coming over parasites. You have your Levities?
Oh, yeah.
They called them parasites. It sounds awful, but it was a good thing. And so I was doing these shows there. And by that time, I was really developing who I was and my musical style and what came through me and what I wanted to say and what expressed me, how I was able to express myself. And so when Star Search happened, I had a repertoire to a degree, and I knew what my how I wanted to be perceived. When I was on Star Search, I wore these funky, oversized tuxedo with tailcoat and high tops Converse and baggy pants and a little dicky. I looked like Charlie Chaplin, sort of, or like with Magic Johnson thrown in. Oh, look at that! There you go. See, look at that tailcoat. I got that at a thrift shop, and one of the backup singers, Anne Marie Blake, sewed sequins on the lapel. Everything was, we rehearsed this show like in my living room, in my little house apartment. And so when that happened, it was one of those things where preparedness and opportunity meet at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That coat, that picture you're showing, that jacket, I'm not kidding you. It weighed about 40 pounds. It was, you know who gave it to me? Luther Vandross gave that coat to me.
Really?
And it's Luther, and he was a big guy.
Yeah, sure.
And he gave that jacket to me because I needed it for some event. And it was beaded, hand beaded with all these tiny little silver beads. It weighed almost as much as I did. That's funny. I haven't seen that in a long time.
So, the kid from Oklahoma is now on nationally beloved television series. I mean, you had Star Search, there was Solid Gold, there was, music was so big on television and all these different shows, and Star Search really one of the first, even well before America's Got Talent, American Idol, and all the rest. And there you are, of course, with the extraordinary, and you and I were chatting before we went live on the air. You did a wonderful video, and very heartfelt video when somebody that I always admired, being a television person myself, Ed McMahon, had passed. But you got a chance to experience him, and here you are now, a long way from Oklahoma. You're on stage competing on a nationally broadcast television show, and you've got Ed McMahon there. What was that like? Were you pinching yourself?
I was totally pinching myself. Now remember that the show didn't air till about a month after we shot it.
Right.
So I had already, and we shot 2 shows a week. So I had already shot 2, 4, 6, 8 episodes before it came out. So I was doing my little show in my 50-seat theater at night at 11 o'clock at night. I didn't mention that. That's what time the show started.
Yeah.
11 p.m. in this little place. And so that was doing that. And I had won all these times on Star Search. And so then it started airing, and almost, they talk about overnight.
Yeah.
It was quick.
Yeah.
Because as you mentioned in your never-ending intro of me.
You mean the elaborately flowing?
Oh my God, that's what I meant.
Your mother sent it to me.
We had 20. What's that?
Your mother sent it to me.
My mother. We had 25 million viewers a week. Well, that doesn't happen anymore because there were only 3 channels, right?
Right.
So we had 25 million. That's like, that's like the finale of some major show. That's like the Super Bowl or something.
Yes.
So we had this weekly. So all of a sudden, out of the blue, I was suddenly recognized, suddenly sought after. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Was it overwhelming? Was it overwhelming at times? Yeah.
Yeah, but it was also, you talk about Ed McMahon. This is a man who had been in the business for so many years.
Yeah.
And there was a groundingness about him. And it sounds cliche, but he was like a grandfather to me. He was kind and he was loving, and what's the word? He recognized me.
Yeah.
He recognized me, and he thought that I was special. So the show started to feel focused on me.
Right.
I mean, I'll just say it. The show started to be focused on me, where they placed me, how they built it up, the words he said. Obviously, it was because it was the first season of the show, and they wanted the show to be successfal.
Right.
So they were utilizing the person that popped. But there was a lot of talent on that show. In fact, it's so funny. I did I don't know if you're familiar, Seth Rudetsky.
Oh, sure.
Seth is a brilliant musician and writer and a million radio shows, but he's doing these series of these reunions during COVID. And we did a Star Search one the other night together with people that were from my season, and Rosie O'Donnell, my dear friend who I've known forever, who was on Star Search. And we were
Mac, Long Island. That's where she's from.
She is. My relationship with her is quite wonderfully deep on personal levels, on working levels. Anyway, we were talking about in that first season, there was an innocence about it because it hadn't become a thing yet. It was becoming a thing, but there was something very simple about it and unproduced about it. And it didn't have those things like are in the current ones, which are extraordinary. We didn't have those production values. We didn't have mentors. We didn't have stylists. We didn't have, smoke coming out of the ground and fire behind us and
Right.
a
And all
fire of
the,
35 people. It was you.
it
You chose
was
what
raw
you wore
talent, raw
and what
talent.
you sang, and boom, that was it. There was not going to be an orchestra. You know, you were never going to rise out of the floor. So, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that and I love it. But there was an innocence and a rawness about it. So, which I think is, it's a nice
There's a,
reprieve.
there's
Like,
an authenticity to it. Right. And
well, it's like when Garth Brooks did the Broadway thing and the Vegas thing. And, you know, you see all this production and all this stuff. And in his show, he pulled a stool out and he sat on the stage, down center, and with a guitar and sang songs and told stories because he could.
it's kind of like, you know, as far as television hosts who we just lost, Larry King with his suspenders, just sitting there talking and letting the guest express themselves and emote. There is something about that that is even sometimes more connecting and more real and warmer than all of the pizzazz and all the other things that are going on that are distracting sometimes, right?
Yeah, it's human. I mean, you know what? Ultimately, that's what all this is.
Right.
And I'm not putting down that kind of thing. I mean, there was nothing more exciting than Katy Perry singing "You're a Firework" on the Washington Mall with the fireworks going off. I mean, it's splendid. Your blood goes, it's insane. But there's also something beautiful about simplicity because in the end, you know, we're storytellers. I'm a storyteller.
You are.
And that's much more important than what note I hit.
So true.
It's about whether or not you're creating, what's the word? A reflection of a human experience.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
so you mentioned the show and the film of my show, Ham, which is autobiographical, which is my story. Well, the specifics are mine. Those are the facts that happened to me in my life. However, the themes are universal because everybody has their version of my specifics. Everybody has their specifics. And the overview of that show, and it's funny, as you know, it's entertaining, it's funny, it's poignant, it's tragic, it's all those things of a life that we all have. We all have those moments in our lives that are our ups and our downs and our challenges. And so while my specifics are different, if you've ever been a misfit, if you've ever felt outside, if you've ever felt that you couldn't get through something or that you've never felt enough, then you relate to my show. And I don't know anybody, I don't know a single person who has not felt those things, that has not felt outside, that has not felt, separate and apart, or has not felt that they have no value or that they have not achieved enough. Oh my God, that's just the human condition, right? So it's my job to tell that story in my own terms and hopefully allow someone else to relate to it and find their own humanity and forgive themselves or inspire them. But, you know, Jim, I don't think that we can do anything for the effect.
Right.
In art, I don't think we can do something that's like, I'm going to inspire people. I'm going to change their lives. Well, no, it is only by creating and expressing my personal experience that those things may happen.
Mm-hmm.
If they happen, great. But it's not my job to decide how it's supposed to affect you. It's my job to express. I mean, I'm not going to say that when I sing a song about hope that I'm not hoping that it affects somebody with hope. I look at my career.
Yeah.
It's like there's a freaking theme of all the songs that I've sung through the years, and they are about triumph over adversity and getting through and finding hope and inspiration. It's like, maybe that's why I'm here, you know?
Right.
Because it's, you know, physician heal thyself.
Exactly.
So I sing these songs to convince myself, but if it is heard by somebody else along the way, then great. That's kind of our purpose. I'm not talking about as a performer, as an actor.
As a person.
as a person, it's our job.
Right.
That's why we're here on this earth, is to help other people, to be of service, and to leave it better than we found it.
Exactly right. Well said. And you have been doing that for quite some time.
But not in that photograph.
There you are. How much did that coat weigh?
That coat weighed nothing, but you can't see the colors. It was quite vivid. Look at my hair. That's fantastic.
Actually, sort of like the Gibbs a little bit. Yeah.
It is a little Gibby. My son has very curly hair, and if he grew his out, mine was in ringlets. If he grew his out, his would look like that. It was great hair. And I think I grew that out for Jesus Christ Superstar. Although I don't think Jesus ever had curly hair. Well, yes, he did actually. The real Jesus had very kinky curly hair. So anyway.
And of course, that's the thing, the Broadway, I mean, you've had these opportunities to be in some extraordinary productions as well over the years, which is incredible. But one of the things that really kicked things off was that song that you sang on Star Search, of course, which then led to an album, and Motown was calling, and that must have been extraordinary for you. Over the Rainbow, of course. And you do a knockout version of that, which is extraordinary.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so I'm so lucky actually to be associated with probably the most iconic song, and of course it will always be Judy Garland's. But to be thought of as in the same sentence as that song, I don't think I've ever done a concert, and I've done thousands, that I haven't sung that song. And one of the great things about the song is, you can't, when you sing something forever, over and over and over, it better speak to you.
Right.
And the only way that happens is if it changes meaning. If Over the Rainbow, when I sang it on Star Search, was really about, why can't I? Why not me? Why not me? Why can't I get through? That's what that meant to me at that time. There were other times in my life which it was feisty, and it was like, damn it, why can't I? Or complacent about it. It's like, why can't it be me? The song can mean so many different things, and that's what keeps it alive for me. Because depending on what happened that day, that week, that time in my life that I'm singing that song live in concert, it has a different meaning. And that's how things are kept fresh. That's how the audience knows you're not phoning it in, is that I get to re-examine that lyric of a song I've sung thousands of times and think, what am I going to find in that now?
Yeah.
Right,
exactly.
But that's great material. That means it's great material. You don't get that from Sugar Don't Bite, which was like some piece of shit song I sang, some top 40 hit I sang. God bless the writers, Bruce Roberts and Donna Weiss, who wrote it. God bless them. But, thank God I got other material.
Well, who's also a big fan of yours too, which I think is really, really cool. And he just went viral recently, and I could see why. Of course, Bernie Sanders.
Oh my God, I saw that. That is so hysterical. These memes, can I tell you, my son and I created a folder of Bernie Sanders memes from the inauguration, and there are so many. Isn't that hysterical?
Yeah.
So this is a shot. This is a freeze frame from Ham, from my show Ham.
Yeah.
And there is Bernie. Look at that. That is so funny.
And that's quite a jump you're doing. You're not hanging from strings or ropes. You're.
I was there for a millisecond, though, Jim. Don't give me too much credit. Just for barely a time.
I tell you, but that is really, really a cool shot. Here's some.
Isn't that funny?
Look at you.
Oh my God, that jacket.
Yeah.
Well, that's in the days when we had actual records.
A little Boy George, a little bit, and look just in the way that looks, huh? Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was all at the same time.
Not Boy
I have a
George.
great picture,
Not
actually,
Boy
of me and Boy
George.
George.
No, George
What?
Michael. George Michael.
Oh, George Michael.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. No, we were the same age,
Yeah.
and I did a TV special that we did together, and he
Yeah.
was a remarkable talent. It was
George
just
Michael.
that really, really, really affected me when he died.
So young and early, right?
What a gift he was.
Wasn't that a
Quiet, shy person.
wasn't
I
that
mean, I know they wouldn't say that at the public park in front of the Beverly Hills Hotel,
yeah.
but he was a very shy. He wasn't large.
Introspective and reserved, and
Yeah,
a lot of performers are oftentimes, and then when they're on stage or in the studio or on set or whatever it is, that's when they knock it out of the park. But then once the lights are off, they want to go home and retreat. Do you need that? Do you need the yin and the yang of, okay, I got to go out there, I'm going to give it 110%. But when I'm done, I need to replug in, reboot, re-energize, and come down from it a little bit. So then I can go back out and bang it out again. Do you need that time in between?
it's not even just in between. It's like that is the time in between. I am not, nor have I ever been, that person who goes and parties and does and I am very, very small, to a degree that is probably not as healthy.
Do you think that comes from the more quieter Midwestern upbringing, maybe? Does that make that the case, you think?
I don't think so. I think it's more just that I am not, like right now, okay, I'll put it this way. My husband, Danny, says, if I want to know what's going on in your life, I'll come see one of your shows. Because I share more on the stage.
Yeah.
Informationally, comically, emotionally, than I do in my daily life. Things that I would never share with a person, I share with strangers. Things that I would never think of to share with a friend and articulate, I share with strangers. My first book, Ham, Slices of a Life, is autobiographical. It's what the show is based on. And sometimes people come up to me and they'll say, oh, I really related to that time that whatever, your house burned down for the second time and this and that. And I'm like, and I think, how do you know this? Why do you know that about me? That's really private. And then I remember, oh, it's in a book I wrote. Like, I don't have trouble saying it in my work, but I don't do it in real life. That's kind of odd, isn't it? It's peculiar.
In sort of a one-on-one sort of situation. Yeah. Well, the story that you have is extraordinary because it's very inspiring. I mean, you've really touched upon so many different areas, from film to television to Broadway to music. You're a multi-talent, and you've even produced shows. There was a sitcom on TBS also that you did, and some of the Broadway productions too, in case people don't recall. I mean, involvement with Grease and the producers. You mentioned Jesus Christ Superstar, Cabaret, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Hair, Pippin, The Jazz Singer, The First Wives Club. These are not lightweight productions, and Broadway you love, don't you? Broadway really speaks to your heart.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, I am a fan of talent and art. And when I'm doing a show, and this is true for Broadway, but it's actually true for almost any theater that I've ever worked at, on tour, in concert, in a play, in a long-running show, whatever it is, I have never not gotten a little thrill walking through a stage door. There's something about that in all of these years that never stops making me think, oh my God, I'm in the club. I get to be in the club. When it was a TV series I did a few years ago, and every time I drove onto the lot, I thought, oh my God, I'm in the club. oh my God, that's the soundstage that they shot Friends, and that's where they shot the Betty Davis this and that, and on Broadway, when I'll be like, oh my God, so and so was in my dressing room that I'm in now. I'm in their dressing room. I'm walking on those boards on the floor of the stage of a Broadway house. I am a fan, and I will never stop being that. And I am curious, Jim. I am curious.
Yeah.
That is my, what's next? Now, that doesn't mean I don't have like tired, lethargic, pointless, disappointing, depressing, horrifying days. And that was just yesterday. We all have those. But the lion's share of it is, and then you're talking about, yes, I write books and I direct and I sing and I act and I write and whatever. That's because whatever it is that I'm doing at the time is what I like to do most.
I like that. So you like the variety. You don't want to be locked and boxed in. You want to have opportunities and avenues to express yourself in the different forms that are available to you.
Yeah. And, maybe that's not a good thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a person who only does show after show after show after show. That's a career. That's a kind of, that's a different kind of thing. Or somebody who, writes book after book in a row, and they've got another one. And I need to write a new book, by the way, because this new one's out, and people are like, "When's your next book?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I just released this one." Anyway, because it took 4 years to write.
I didn't know you're left-handed.
I am indeed.
Ambidextrous.
I am.
Barbie Horowitz is watching, wonderful Barbie Horowitz, and she goes, I'm so grateful to be at this interview. Sam Harris is what we call a mensch in my home when I was young. Wonderful Barbie Horowitz from cabaret music and performance and so much more. She's amazing. Yep, we're here.
Oh my God. Okay.
We see you.
Hold on. I can't hear anything.
You see us, right?
Can you hear me? Can
Yes.
you hear me? Oh,
Yeah.
There you are.
Yep. We're there.
I lost you for a minute.
So Bobby Horowitz says, I'm so grateful to be at this interview. Sam Harris is what we call a mensch in my home when I was young. She's a brilliant New York performer and cabaret and everything else.
Hi, Bobby.
Denise says, loving this interview, gentlemen. Thank you, Denise. Kathleen, Walker, New York. Great photos. Christine Clifton, New York City. Enjoying all these stories so very much. You've really gone after what you want from the beginning with great success, terrific photos. And yes, those Bernie memes have been fun. He sure gets around. And Linda in Florida, sing to us, please. That is funny. Really cool. I love this. And that's something that, is this at 54 Below?
It looks like the background looks like 54 Below.
Yeah. Do you remember what the performance was here? What you were belting
I've played there many times.
I know. Yeah.
And so I don't know
The
exactly
particular
what that is, but I look very happy.
You do. And that one
And
too.
then we're back to that. We don't need to return to that. There we go.
I love this one. Where was this?
I think that's from the New York production of Ham. Yeah, see the people's heads? That's a theater. That's from the New York production of Ham. Billy Porter directed that production.
Yes.
Who's marvelous. I've known him forever too.
Now tell us about this story for folks who didn't perhaps see it. And it's
they can,
Yeah, they can. Right. Exactly. It's gone from the stage in New York, the stage in LA, I believe also in Pasadena where it was filmed. And now it's actually like a television production that they can see. Tell us about the germ of the story, the inspiration for Ham, for those not familiar with it.
Well, it began as a book called Ham, Slices of a Life, which came out in 2014. Simon & Schuster published it. And I started doing, when you have a book come out, you do readings. And usually they're in a bookstore or they're in libraries and, or a small, because it's me, because I'm from the theater, we did them in theaters. And then I would put in some songs, and my amazing musical director and dear friend, he's like my musical soulmate, Todd Schroeder, who's in the show, plays and is also featured in the movie, the show. He and I started adding songs and then writing a couple of pieces. And it kept going toward this. And then Susie Dietz, who's a brilliant, brilliant producer of many Broadway shows and a dear friend, and she said, you know what, this needs to be developed. Do you want to do it? And I said, of course. Well, Todd and I lived in Los Angeles. And so we went to New York and spent about 3 or 4 weeks with Billy Porter, who I'd known forever. We did Grease together. We shared a dressing room. He had been on Star Search, and I think he had just done Kinky Boots, and he was really, had arrived, and I was so happy for him. I love it when I see gifted friends receive their due. Oh my God, I get chills thinking about it. Anyway, so Billy helped develop it, and he directed the New York production, and then it became Ham, a musical memoir. And Billy really helped me take it from the page to the stage, because a lot of it tells stories, but then I play 12 different characters who are different people in my life and myself at different ages. And he was like, we've got to leave the book. These are the facts. This is what happened to you. But now let's create the scenes. Let's create the dialogue. So we did that in New York, and we got really beautiful reviews from the New York Times and from the New Yorker and from Time Out and from all these, wonderful publications. And then we did it in Los Angeles, and an incredible director, Ken Sawyer, I mean, genius, brilliant, sort of took it to a whole other level. Billy came in at some point to give his blessing, and we had more opportunity for the show to go further in Los Angeles. And Ken brought it there, and then we did it there. And again, the reviews were just insane and amazing, and we started winning all these awards. And we're like, this needs to be a movie. But the only way that I would do it as a film was that if it was shot as a film and not as an archival piece with 2 or 3 cameras sitting in the back of the house and just capturing a live performance. No, it was very important to me that it be filmed like when you saw the Hamilton show filmed, that you were up close and we had cranes, we had 5 cameras, we had close-ups, we had on the stage, and so it becomes, there's no point. Archivally is important when they shoot a show that is never going to be seen again. It's important to have an archive. But if you're going to actually do a film of a live show, you must present something that is beyond what you can get in a seat in a theater. The whole advantage to film is to have a director's perspective and to see that close-up and to see those eyes, or to see what happens in some small moment, or, or the tear in the eye that you can't see from row, R. Right. So that was what was important to me. And I believe we accomplished that. And right now, and I know we'll plug it again later, but I have to say it because it debuted its opening on the Levity, which a marvelous theater chain, and they've gone virtual now, like everyone has. It debuted on the Levity new network channel, but now it's at Broadway HD. And if any of you guys who are watching are theater aficionados or theater phobes or Broadway files, then it's just this extraordinary channel in which you can see productions, shows of films of productions and movies of famous shows in London from Broadway. It's really magical and wonderful. And so they have taken this exclusively for the next few months. And there is help me with this, Jim. There's a code. They gave me a promo code. What was it? Go to Broadway HD and look up Ham. Yeah. Memoir. Oh, I know what it is. There's a code. Ham FM. Ham FM.
Ham FM.
Fat man. Think of that, because I've gained so much weight during COVID. Ham FM. And you get a free month of subscription, and you can watch Ham as many times as you want and anything else you want. So that's where it is now. And then it'll go wider. It'll go to, other major platforms after that. But we're exclusively at Broadway HD.
So there it is, Ham FM. So when you go to Broadway jimmastershd.com.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
that special limited time. If you watch this episode a year from now, folks, that won't be the code. But
It
if you
will
do it
not.
right now during this time of early 2021, there is your free code to have access to the incredible production. Now, we do have, which we're very excited about, Sam, some clips, actually.
Right.
Variety of really, really special clips that we want to show as we go along here, and clip about 6 or 7 clips, which is really, really nice, giving us little snippets from it. So do you want to set the stage at all as far as, again, what the essence of the production is, and even some of the feedback that you've had from the stage productions themselves too? I know it was glowing and glorious, the response.
It's, I'm playing all these characters. I'm telling these stories. Some of them are funny and silly, and some of them are quite poignant. And the book was not chronological. The play is chronological. And it's got a theatrical arc to it. I don't know what to say. When I say I played 12 characters, I didn't come out in different costumes.
Right.
There were no props. There were no costumes. You go there through your imagination, and you know that the thing we do in the theater, which is we go to that, we accept that disbelief.
Right. Exactly. Right.
So anyway, I don't know what you have, but
let's
talk about.
Yeah, let's take a look. We'll show each clip, and then maybe we can chat a little bit about the clip, and then go to the next clip. All right, folks, enjoy. This is Ham, a musical memoir with a wonderful and incomparable Sam Harris. Here's your first clip. Enjoy.
The next scheduled production was The Miracle Worker. Because of my triumph in South Pacific, I was certain I would be offered the role of Helen. The phone remained silent, but I was undeterred. I became fixated with her. Anybody with that many handicaps was not only captivating and heroic, but could completely relate to the tribulations of the human spirit, just like me. I tied a dish towel around my eyes and stuffed toilet paper in my ears for sense memory. After 5 days, my father had finally had enough. Take off the goddamn rag and act like a person. Helen Keller was a person. How can you say that? You're not Helen Keller. I could be if they'd give me a chance. When I was told that I was being offered another part, I begged to go to the audition. Well, Sam, you sweet little baby doll, you did not need to come today. We already know you're playing Percy. But I wanted to come. I want to read for Helen. Read for Helen. Helen didn't have any lines.
Tell us about that clip there, my friend.
Well, I was 5 years old. I had just done, because my father was the band director at the high school, and so I had just done South Pacific and played Jerome de Bec, one of the 2 mixed-race Polynesian bastard children, and I sang Dites-moi. And so I was, like, what's next? What's next? And they were doing The Miracle Worker. And audition, they did have me play this part, Percy, who was, as the quote, the description in the play is the thing, Percy, a little Negro child who mostly sleeps. And so they were giving me this part, but, I wanted to play Helen Keller. And I was upset because the high school girl who played Helen Keller, which should have been, because it was a high school production, she didn't look like Helen. She was 18 years old or 17 years old. Helen Keller was supposed to be 8. I was closer. I didn't understand. And I didn't understand how they could cast me as a Polynesian child in South Pacific and a Negro child in The Miracle Worker, and yet not cast a regular child in the starring role of Helen. So I was very confused. But again, we talked about tribes.
Yes.
related to her. She was deaf and mute and blind and the ultimate outsider. And I'm like, I love her. No, I want to play her. Really, I was the love ever. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they.
But they did. Here's another clip, folks. Ham, a musical memoir with, again, the wonderful Sam Harris.
It's not that I think my life is so exceptional, or even matters for that matter, just a drop against the sea. It's some stories. You've got yours. And I suppose they're all exceptional. But the truth is in this place, and at this time, and in this space, tonight is all about me. I am an open book. The cover's slightly tattered and the pages lightly frayed. I'm an open book. Some mishmash of reality among the plans I made. The binding and the spine, the black and white that defines, and the stuff between the lines. An open book, an open book.
And those of you who've been asking for him to sing, you're getting a sample of the voice. It's
Little something there.
extraordinary. It's really extraordinary.
That song was called Open Book, which was inspired because the show came from my book. And that's the first song in the show. After a little whole comic beginning, that's the first big song. And prior to that clip actually was a sort of a slide montage of different aspects of my life that we then cover in the show.
Claps, claps, claps from Kathleen Walker in New York City. Denise says, always love your voice. Mary Bishop,
Thank you.
Florida, saying, always love your voice from Denise. Mary says, fantastic. She's in Florida. Juanita in South Africa. LOL, brilliant.
Thank you, Juanita.
Fun clip. The clip was too funny. They're talking about, I think, about the first clip.
I hope so.
Gary Troyer in Iowa, USA says, I will definitely have to watch this.
Thank you, Gary.
I'm so grateful to have met you, Sam Harris, which is beautiful. Wonderful, Bobby. And Christine saying in North Carolina, you have a fantastic voice, great clips. And again, Broadway HD. And then HAM-FM, that's the code to put in to see it, folks. And of course, Sam's website is samharris.com. Awesome from Jennifer in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Tina saying fabulous. But wait, folks, there's more. We have another clip here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We did our research, Sam. We did our research. Here's another great clip, folks, again from Ham, a musical memoir with Sam Harris.
I took all the seconals with a giant glass of water and stared at myself in the mirror. I removed my clothes, replacing them with a long white t-shirt and fresh white underwear. I pulled back the covers and lay down with my hands folded across my body like the pictures of Lenin lying in state I'd seen in the history books. It was how I would be found, not messy and disheveled among rumpled sheets and doubts, but in purposeful and contemplative peace. His name was Scott Pierce, and he looked just like Cary Grant. I don't know much, but I know what is true. I had no expectations when out of the blue you uncovered my eyes and presented the view. So I'll sleep with sweet dreams because I love you.
Really terrific. Tell us about that segment there, Sam.
Well, as we talked about, I left home when I was 15. And the first place I went was, I was in Nashville at a place called Opryland, which was this extraordinary theme park that was musical based. And we had a show that had, I think we were a cast of 20, and it was a live orchestra and it was live shows. And these were really extraordinarily talented people. And I fell in love with a boy named Scott Pierce. And it was the first time I'd ever felt anything like that. I knew that it was wrong. I knew that it had to be wrong from everything that I knew growing up. And I came back to Sand Springs, my little town, and it was the fact that I had experienced something so beautiful that I couldn't share with anyone. I couldn't tell anyone. I couldn't be in love. And I thought, I'm never going to have that. I'm never in my life I'm going to have that. I'm not going to be able to live out loud, live real. And so at that time, my only choice was then to take my life. So I took 30 Secondols, and that song is called Sweet Dreams. And it's through the song is when I start to go to sleep. And then a circumstance happens. My brother steps on this darning needle and breaks off in his foot, and I had to take care of him. And then I went and threw up all the pills, and I had to take care of my brother, and that saved my life. But this part of the show is about a very, very difficult and scary and sad time for me, and I lay it bare.
Really, really beautiful. And was that easy for you to do, or did you have any hesitation in sharing that depth of your life with the public at large, or was there no hesitation?
I don't ever have hesitation about sharing dark moments of my life, because everyone has them. I lived.
Right.
Someone helped me. A high school psychology teacher basically saved my life by telling me there is nothing wrong with you. And so if I had that, and then I share my story openly and freely, then someone else is in the same position, or their version of the same position, and they know they're not alone. So I can pass it on. I can be a part of the chain that someone helped me and saved my life. And maybe I can be a part of the chain, and someone else may get something from that. So I have no trouble. Telling my stories at all. Now, sorry.
And that's beautiful. Now, I just want to throw in that is very beautiful that you do that. And it comes from you naturally and effortlessly, because you are inspiring others. Your talent, your raw talent for singing and performance and dancing and acting and all the things you do are spot on. But underneath that, this desire to connect to people and inspire them and lift them up, as well as you have been along the way on your own life, is absolutely extraordinary. And that's bottom line. Even this past year, with everything that we've been through in this year, we've had this time to pivot and look at our lives and see all the things that we've experienced collectively and individually, to want to be empathetic and compassionate, and to want to leave the room better than you found it, and to want to make a difference in people's lives is a really beautiful thing. So hats off to you, my friend.
Well, thank you. Like I said before, I think that's our job. That's our purpose, to re-experience those feelings that are my life, as opposed to when, as an actor, when you're playing a different person, then you use your life experiences to imbue into that character to, make it real, make it authentic. But then when you're doing things about your own life, then you're not substituting your stuff for somebody else's. It's like real. So that's hard. But I've learned to leave that at the door, at the stage door. When I walk off the stage, I have to separate myself from that. Otherwise, I'd be an emotional basket case. Jim, are you there, my friend? The clock is still going, which means I think we're live. I can't see the comments to know, though. So, what do you want me to do? Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. I'm going to see if I can call Jim and see if he is there. Jim. This is just, I hate it when this happens, but it does happen. Okay. I've been forwarded to an automatic voice system. So much talking. Why do they do that? I never understood that. Like we don't know how to leave a message. Jim, I'm desperate to talk to you. It is 5:20 something in Los Angeles, and we're on the air. I think I'm on the air, but you're not on the air. Oh, and look, he appears. Oh my God, goodbye. I'm leaving you a message.
Thank you very much. I get to hear that message. I will save that message forever.
So what happened?
Who the heck knows? I tell you, it's crazy.
But was I on the whole time?
And I would imagine, and I'm sure you did a spectacular job.
I filmed as much as I could, and I even sang a lot of Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Did you?
I needed to fill the time. Here's in our business, in Jim and I, when you see them do this, it means stretch. Fill it.
Stretch.
This means stop. Or this means wrap it up.
Exactly.
Anyway, well, we'll see from your comments if I was actually on the air. We'll see.
You were on the air, absolutely, and that's what we love.
Okay.
And Christine says your rendition of Over the Rainbow is fantastic.
Well, thank you. I didn't get to the end because I thought maybe I should call you.
Do you want to? You want to finish it off? Go ahead. Bobby Horowitz says you were.
This was where I left off.
She says you were singing it.
Yeah. Wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, if birds fly over the rainbow, why then, oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? cannot believe I just sang that in the middle of, well, hello.
I tell you, that was amazing. There was
Well,
absolutely amazing. I think every window here has been
did it
shattered.
burst?
Yes, yes. Right. Is it live or is it Memorex? That was
It's
live.
Yeah.
For our viewers, if any of your fine china or your windows cracked or smashed, we take no responsibility at the Jim Master Show Live.
Wow.
You know, that was perfect. Whatever the technology did, whatever, who knows? Because, you know, working in the industry like I do, technology can be nutty. Actually, that was perfect because you got a chance to do that for the audience and they're absolutely loving it, which I think is spectacular.
That makes me happy.
Yeah. Look at Kathleen says, wow, wow, wow. Claps, claps, claps. Harriet claps, standing ovations, hearts.
Oh, that's
Denise
sweet.
says, bravo.
Thank you.
You did a terrific job continuing conversation, singing, kept everything going. Juanita says,
I wasn't sure I was on.
You're
Jim,
a pro.
I just kept talking. So we're good though. We're good.
A pro. You're a pro.
Well, there we go.
Ultimate showman. Absolutely. Claps from Willie, who's still with us late in the night in Holland.
Oh my.
Juanita says,
very late.
What a treat. Thank you. Loving the fact that you actually did that for them, which really is
my pleasure.
And Bobby says, you wonderful singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Thank you, Bobby.
Your rendition Over the Rainbow is fantastic. Really, really, I appreciate you doing that. And that was a nice bonus surprise. Actually, folks, Sam and I had this whole thing planned. We rehearsed this, right? We were supposed to do that, right? That was a bonus.
It was all planned. Jimmy just sort of like disappeared. Where did he go? Where did it go? Oh, Sam, you must fill.
I'm a very generous host. I handed it over to you.
Well, thank you.
We actually have some more clips too.
Great.
Yeah, we have some more clips. Here's another one from him, a musical memoir, my friend. And if I see you either on the East Coast or I'm on the West Coast doing a TV shoot, dinner's on me. And I hear you like steak.
Yes, that's a private joke.
We do our research. Here's the clip, folks. Enjoy.
Hit it! Our first show was called Sam Harris and Fries to Go. Fries to Go were his backup singers. We were booked to open in this dump of an Italian restaurant on Sunset Boulevard called Gio's. The showroom was next to the dining room. Dreck with a side of calamari. But we treated it like we were playing Carnegie Hall. Sam was ready for the masses. Now, there was no backstage, so Sam was pacing out in the alley out back. He was so nervous, just so nervous. Pacing, schwitzing, pacing, nervous, pacing, schwitzing. I had to tell him the news. Think of it as a rehearsal. What do you mean? We've been rehearsing for weeks. The house is small. How small? Very small. How very small? There is no one in the audience.
That's very small.
It's true. Now, that was sort of a larger-than-life character of this man named Jerry Blatt, who was my writer and director and mentor and teacher of life, of everything, and taught me about authenticity on the stage and his observation of the world. He changed my life, and he died in 1989, and I think of him every single day and every single project I do. He taught me, he said, look at the crack in the sidewalk. Always find the crack in the sidewalk. He was always telling me to be alive and in things. And if I was authentic on stage, I could do anything. And he was the single most important influence in my work. So we did that first show together and no one was there. And then I was fired for singing too loud.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Could you imagine?
Yeah, I was fired because it was this terrible little restaurant. It's still there, I think, on Sunset Boulevard. I should go back. Sing.
Say, hey,
remember me?
right. And they should pay for the steak.
Right.
Here's some more, folks. We have another clip here for your pleasure, everybody. Enjoy.
For the title, from Sand Springs, Oklahoma, Sam Harris.
Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. If birds fly over the rainbow, then why? Oh, why? I mean, seriously? I did everything but shoot fireworks out of my ass.
It's true. That show,
It's true.
I mean, like every week it had to be like bigger and more and, you know,
Top this, right?
yes.
That is funny. They're loving it, folks. The clips here, awesome. Kathleen and thumbs up and stars from Willie in Holland as well. Ha ha ha. Merlin in Ontario, Canada, loving it as well. Really, really nice.
I hope you guys will see this. You guys
Yeah.
are saying these beautiful comments.
Yeah.
I'm really, really proud of this piece. And
Fantastic.
you know,
Yeah.
what we were talking a little bit about when you had disappeared, Jim, was talking a little bit about you know, because we've been discussing, do I have trouble revealing this stuff about myself?
Right,
And I said,
right.
no, but reliving it is another thing. And to have those moments like that suicide scene or these different things. And I was talking about when you're an actor and you're playing a character, you imbue that character with your own life experience. That's what gives it authenticity. But when
Right.
you're playing yourself at different ages and at different times, you're actually reliving your own experience, which is a different thing. And I had to really learn to leave it when I walked off the stage, to leave it there. Otherwise, it would have really been emotionally wrecking, you know?
Very draining and all consuming. So you have to leave it and then walk away and
then find it again.
And then find, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense. We have got another clip here as well. Ham, a musical memoir. BroadwayHD.com, everybody. And then type in HAMFM. That is the special code, limited time, where you can actually see it for free on Broadway HD, which is terrific. And it's a great site filled with lots of great entertainment and talent. Here's more from what we're discussing here, this musical memoir as told and sung and danced by Sam Harris.
Places! Don't go out there, you talentless charlatan. What if they find out? What if you're not enough? What the hell are you doing? Showtime. Who the hell do you think you are? Hey, it's Arnold the Pig. I've always been this way. It's my curse, my kiss, my blight, my bliss that keeps me on display. I'm a certified, hey, life is a bowl of shit. My neck, my crack, my vice. Savory is sweet, good enough to eat. Everybody grab a big slice.
So this is it's the Ham reprise. The first time we hear the song is in the beginning of the show when I'm talking about I'm Ham, I've always been this way. It's my curse, my kiss, my blight, my bliss that keeps me on display. It's this funny up and song. So this is the Ham reprise, and so these things that Todd is saying Arnold the pig. Life is a bowl of shit. These are things from stories throughout that hammer into my head about being less and not being good enough, and things from my father and things from, a review or whatever, or just the things that live in your head. And so this whole thing is obviously inspired by like a Fosse Chicago kind of thing. And it's the demons. It's the demons in my head that I am trying to work through by still performing. What is enough? More, more, more. And that whole number is quite something.
Yeah, it is.
It's that ultimate sort of ham show business with the dark.
Bobby Horowitz says, and this is kind of a cool comment. She says, I've done lots of self-realization work, and I so appreciate what you've accomplished for yourself, Sam Harris. I love
Thank you,
that.
Bobby.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. And again, sharing it in this musical way is a way to really touch people. And I think people probably leave taking a look at their own lives. And if anything, this year has certainly given us a time and opportunity to pivot and look at our own lives as well in ways that maybe, we hadn't had time in the past,
I think there's a lot of silver linings.
Yes.
There's a lot of silver linings. It's been very hard, and it continues to be, but there's a lot of things that we've discovered about ourselves, about who we love, about being there for each other. It's really been, and humor and finding humor. I mean, you were talking about the Bernie Sanders memes. I wish I had a file of every funny thing and the videos and the things that we've done to survive as a population.
Mm-hmm.
But something that I think I'm happy about the timing of this movie coming out, because we don't have live theater. We don't have it. We don't even have movies theater, right?
Right.
It's not the same. And I think that what this director, Andy Pachogal, and this brilliant editor, Corey Ziemanek, created is that you really feel like you're there. It shows the audience, it's these different perspectives, but you feel like you're in the theater. And I think that we miss that. We miss being with strangers from all walks of life, having a mutual human experience.
Yes.
And I think that they accomplished that. I think that the people who, Jim, I think my greatest gift is to have people around me who are brilliant and who I learn from and who are better than me in what they do and the way it informs me. And I got to tell you, the people that made this show happen, from producing to creating to lighting to sound to editing they're just all brilliant people. And then I get to find my place in that. It's great. I'm just very, very blessed.
Blessed, pleased, I'm sure satisfied, fulfilled in so many different ways, which is a beautiful thing when that happens, because it doesn't always happen in life. So again, none of it came without a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, and passion going into it all. And here's some more of that with another clip we have. Ham, a musical memoir.
McDowell easily located an American Psychiatric Association book and showed me that in 1973, only 5 years prior, homosexuality had been declassified as a mental disorder. Clinical studies demonstrate that same-sex attractions, feelings, and behaviors are normal and positive variations of human sexuality. What? How could this be? Okay, so you know this. What about everybody else? What about the Bible thumpers and everybody else in this town? They're wrong. They're just wrong. And also, some people are assholes.
right to the point. And yeah,
That's the psychology teacher I was talking about,
yeah,
who really saved my life. He was the first person I talked to about anything after that suicide attempt. And that whole scene that goes on for a bit is quite amazing that this happened for me and that I had him in my life. And then when the show happened, when the book happened, I hadn't spoken to this man for, decades, and tracked him down and invited him to come see the reading before it was a show. And so I got to thank him, I got to thank him from my book. I got to thank him in person. And, we never know what we're going to do for somebody. He goes, "Oh, you would have been fine." I'm like, "No, you actually saved my life." And we don't ever know what words we say to someone or how we help someone, how large that can be. And for me to have the opportunity to tell him in person, "Look what you did. Look what you did." So you guys, don't ever underestimate your power in the world and the influence that you have, be it negative or positive, because we are powerful beings. We get to look, when we look at what's happened, in politics and with the Capitol and all that, we get to choose. We got to choose what side of truth we want to be on and how we live and what we put forward. Do we live in love or do we live in fear? And that's kind of it. There's just those two things, love and fear. That's all there is. And it's very powerful, that choice. So in this teacher doing that for me, it saved my life and then changed it. So you can do that.
It's amazing. You expressed yourself in such a way with this production. It's extraordinary. It goes through such a range of motion and emotion. Was it cathartic and therapeutic for you to do it on stage and then also have it filmed as a television production? Were you sort of reliving and reconnecting with some of these moments in your life during it?
It's definitely cathartic. I think the most cathartic parts were the things that had dealt with my relationship with my father, which was a complicated and tumultuous relationship, which I think is there's a lot of truth for that for a lot of fathers and sons, what the expectations are, how we're viewed, who we're supposed to be. And it was no different for me and my father. My father died a year ago last August. So the fact that I was able to write this down, a lot of stories that included my father, and my father read it and he said, "That's the truth. You said the truth." And there's a scene in the show after I have my child, and he says, "You're going to be a better father than I was." And that is
when you heard that. Yeah.
It's a lot, but I say it, I put it out there, and somebody else had the same situation,
Right. It's beautiful that they got to see you, when you left at 15 and not knowing what was going to become of Sam, what's going to happen, what's he going to do. He's obviously passionate and enthusiastic and he has a vision, but they saw the success and the passion, which is that's a blessing, because not everybody gets to see, not all parents or family members get a chance to see the success. They see the work, and then something happens where they never see the end result of it. And I'm sure that, he was very happy.
But don't you find that success, it's such a relative term?
It
because
is.
And for me, I never felt like I was enough of anything. I never felt like nothing was good enough. There's a line in the show where I had called my parents to tell them about some contract or whatever it was. And my father said, "Well, if you'd been a professional baseball player." And then I say, and if I had told him I was a professional baseball player, he'd say, "Well, if you were emperor of the world, like there's no, I can't ever achieve that." But success is not about those things. Success is, are you happy? Period. Are you happy? And I don't care if my kid wants to mow lawns or blow glass or run for president,
Right.
if he is happy and he's doing good in the world and he's bringing light and joy,
Exactly.
and he's able to take in things and make a difference. And I've been taking my kid on political marches since he was 2 years old. And I remember him saying to me when he was old enough, he was like, why are we here? There's thousands. What? This is boring. Why do we count? If we weren't here, nobody would notice. And I said, well, if everybody did that, then no one would be here. You do count. You do have a voice. You do have a body. You do show up. So if my kid grows up to mean something, to stand up for what he believes, to defend the underdog, to be a person of justice and create joy and find contentedness in his own work and contribution to the world, that's success. That is success. Because let me tell you, Jim, and all you guys, I have the great good fortune in my business to know a lot of very, very successful people in my business, in show business. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of them that you perceive as very successful, but they have been so focused on themselves and on that success that they have missed out on a lot of personal things, friendships, relationships, whether it's a spouse or whatever, or children, or just good friends that bring you, to the ground.
They settle you, right? Balance you out.
Yeah. And so you can have that, whatever that fame is or that money is. But if you don't have the real stuff, that's what you're missing. So success is a relative term.
Had you always felt that way and knew that, or was that learned over time?
That was learned over time.
Yeah.
But it was also learned over choices that I made, because I always was relationship oriented, almost to I thought for a while, almost to the detriment of my so-called career, because I would place those things above that. I've always been driven, but I've never been, nothing else matters. I've never been like, no, nothing else matters. I haven't been that. And maybe if I had been, I would have had a different level of success, because I would have been singly focused. But I don't know. I think that's my parents. My mom in particular, really taught me about the foundation of a family. Well, both of them, both my father and my mother. Anyway.
Yeah, which is beautiful. I mean, those are life lessons that carry you through life, and obviously you heard them and you apply them to your own life, which is a beautiful thing. I agree with everything you're talking about, Sam. It's very important. Success isn't the buzz and the bling and all of those trappings. It's contentment. It's what you do with your life, uplifting others and inspiring others and really caring. And as I've said it multiple times on this show and my work professionally, I'm hoping that out of everything that we've experienced collectively in the last year or so, that we come out of it more empathetic, more compassionate, more loving. We listen to one another more as opposed to talking at one another, because we were already social distancing before we had to. Our heads were stuck on our cell phones. Everybody's stuck on social media. And
the divisiveness of politics.
And all of the hatred. So there's been a real good amount of time to understand and appreciate and reconnect with the things that really matter most in life. And I've been telling everybody through all of this to just look for those constants, your family members, the sun rising and setting, go to the ocean, the tide coming in and out, some of those constants when the world is spinning around and seems like the rug's being pulled out and everything is discombobulated. Go to the constants in life.
It's so funny that you just said that, because we're talking about our summer and whether or not the vaccines will have been in place, because we always take a vacation. Last year we went to Montana because it was like COVID free. We lived in a ranch out in I think the population was 10 in the town. Anyway, this year we were thinking about going back to Cape Cod, because we have gone there many times, and I just love it. And I love the East Coast, and Danny said, well, we don't know what it's going to be like. We don't know if there's going to be, people. And And I said, well, we know the ocean will be there.
The ocean will be there.
We know the ocean. Now I live on a coast, but
Yeah.
I said, the ocean will be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the trees will be there. The sand dunes will be there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's true. We do have to, but the constants also mean not only the constants in our life with our friends and our family, but also one of the silver linings has been the way that I have had reunions with casts of shows, with people that I went to school with that Opryland group of people that really made a difference in my life, that were there at important times of my life, who I've loved and haven't spoken to them in 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. And I know that when life goes back to normal, they will now be a part of my life in a way that they haven't been.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's absolutely a beautiful thing. And I'm also hoping that we go towards normal, not from just back to normal, but to better too. We go to a better understanding of one another. Juanita in South Africa is saying, Sam, amazing outlook on life, true inspiration. I agree. And Tina, spot on. I think Sam and I agree with you there. Success is being real and being authentic.
That's right.
A couple people are asking if there's a print version of an autobiography that you've done, because they want it.
Well, the book that the show is based on,
right,
called Ham, Slices of a Life,
mm-hmm.
is on Amazon, where you get everything now because there's no bookstore. And that is the basis for the show and for the play. And that is an ebook. It's also print, and it's also Audible. But I want to make sure that we talk about the new book.
Yes, we have it here. This is really cool. Tell us about this one, The Substance of All Things, a novel.
This is my heart and soul, kids. I mean, I always say that whatever I'm doing is what I love the most, but this book is not autobiographical. This is fiction. This is literary fiction. And this is probably almost more than anything in my life. This is my heart and soul. It's the story of a young boy, a 12-year-old boy growing up in the 60s in rural Oklahoma, who discovers through his malformed hands that he has the capacity to heal. And by laying of hands. And how this boy is coming to terms with this gift and what it means, and his relationship with his father. His mother has died, and how he is exploited because of this gift. And then that is juxtaposed with this same character, Theo, as an adult who has become a therapist, and his work with this very, very, very broken woman. And it is through his work with her that he's able to go back and re-examine the demons of what happened to him in that summer when he was 12. And it's my best work that I've ever written. Not to put it on outside review things, because I think that's what we're talking about, is knowing what we did ourselves. But these reviews have been crazy amazing from these wonderful publications. And it's my best work. And it is personal. It's entertaining and funny at times, but it's rich. I will say that. I am proud of this. And let me tell you, I think this is true for all of us. I know when I do really good work, and I know when I do like, oh, that was okay. And then no one ever sees anything that's not good because I will toss it. But this is good. I can say that about this book. It is powerful. And I assure you that it will move you.
What are you hoping people are left with when they read it?
Well, the book is about healing, and the book is about tragedies and damage from our lives, and moving through that and dealing with it and accepting it and recognizing that it is not intrinsic to you, that it is a part of you, and it is about whether circumstances in our life inform us or define us. Because something can happen, the same thing can happen to two different people, and one perceives themselves as the victim of that circumstance, and that's who they are forever. This happened to me, and I am this way because, and that's me. Another person can have the circumstance in which that thing, that tragedy, whatever, informs them, which makes them more compassionate, more empathetic, a greater and deeper understanding of the human condition, more available to help someone else. And it actually, as painful as it is, can enrich them.
Right.
So do our lives inform us or define us? And that's one of the themes of the book. And there are many. But I'm really proud of this. I'm so proud of this. This is my baby. And we just released the Audible, which I read. And being an actor, I read all the characters, you know. But that just came out. So we have the ebook and the print. I'm a tangible guy. I like tactile books.
Still do. Right.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But the ebook is there too. And now the Audible is out. The Substance of All Things. You can get it at Amazon. The Source of All Things.
There it is, folks. The Substance of All Things. How'd you come up with the title?
It's actually from a Bible verse. Because I was thinking about things about faith, about healing. And this is not a religious book. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's about what religion really is and what its purpose should be versus what it is and the damnation and all that stuff. But it's a Bible verse that is about, I wish I could remember it off the top of my head. Somebody's going to write in with it. The substance of all things hoped for. I'm terrible. I should know this, right? It's my book. But the title means the value of all the things that get us to where we are. Because you can't remove this. You can't say, oh, I wish this didn't happen. I didn't wish this happened. Because this is who I am now. And I am the culmination. I am the amalgam of my life experience. So I can't pick and choose things and say, oh, I wish this. You have to say the whole thing. This is how I got here. So the substance of all things. Nothing is black and white. Everything is right in that middle place. And it all brought us to where we are at this moment. The substance of all things, big and small.
Absolutely. And Denise says, looking forward to reading your book. Sounds inspirational. Really, really nice. Are you in some sort of like a wraparound? That's cool because it's almost like puppets or something.
No, I'm just cold. No, it's just a regular hoodie. It's cool. Just a regular hoodie, but I'm cold and it's raining. And so I'm just kind of doing this.
Getting all warm. And Juanita in South Africa is going to get it. She says, your new book sounds amazing. And tell us, and Kathleen Walker in New York City will definitely look for your books. She's going to be getting it. Harriet Radinsky, thanks for watching, Harriet, too, and joining us on the YouTube channel. Sam, the Audible is fantastic. I love how you do the accents of the different characters.
Wow. Well, thank you, Harriet.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's, it's set in the South and some of the characters are from Oklahoma. A couple of the characters are from Georgia. They're mostly primarily from that area, but I did a lot of different, I did his little sister's voice and thank you. I appreciate that.
So really cool things that are happening in your life through all of this. And have you baked a lot of bread and cleaned a lot of closets during all this too?
You have, I'm like everybody else. I have baked so much bread and I'm becoming really good at it. I have so many new things. First of all, I have my cabinets. There are jars. There's probably 12 jars of rye flour, of wheat flour, of like so many different things. I have my beautiful bannetons and I make my boules and my baguettes. I am on fire and I cook. Well, I always did. I love to cook. And my son and I are cooking together. That's cool. I'm cooking a lot. I've gained 20 pounds during this nightmare. And that's kind of the one thing. It's like we're getting the vaccine. All that's going to be over. And I'm like, really? Does that mean I have to stop eating?
Well, they say we're supposed to be 6 feet from each other and 10 feet away from our refrigerators.
That's good. That's good.
So, now, all the guests, we always, the inquiring minds of our Levity viewers around the world love to know what they're seeing behind the guests. And they've been asking about some of the wall hangings, Life magazine, and the room that you're in. And is there a gold record up in the corner there? Tell us about the room you're in and some of the wonderful things that are there.
Well, this is my office. Normally, I like to Zoom things, interviews and things in my kitchen because it's just bigger and but I knew it would be dark. So I wanted to, so that behind me that's my first gold record. The other one is over on this wall. That what you're seeing that's a show poster of the producers on Broadway. That's The Life, which I did on Broadway. That was where my Tony nomination came. That other one is Grease. Below, there's the guitar down there. What is over here? These are like nomination certificates. There's me and Oprah. There's some stuff from Barbara Streisand and President Clinton. And from my book, on this side of the wall is a poster of my show and of this TV show I'm developing. There's some awards on different places. It's kind of it's an everything room, but it's kind of and also my husband, Danny, because he works constantly on Zoom. So he's kind of taken this over as his world.
Yeah.
So I was just let in for this.
Sure. This is his area.
It is now. It's got all my shit up on the walls, but it's his area.
That is fantastic. Book sounds fabulous. Of course, I'm having your book in my life. That's from Bobby Horowitz. Christine saying tonight's show has not only been an enjoyable conversation, but so very inspirational. Really sounds like a fabulous book, Sam. And again, here is the book to look for, everybody. The Substance of All Things. I love, the audience knows, I love things that are uplifting and inspiring and go deep and sort of help us figure out ourselves in so many different ways. And again, Sam Harris, Ham, a musical memoir. You cannot miss this. Again, it was on stage in New York and LA, and it's been filmed, and now it's available. Go to BroadwayHD.com and then just type in HAM FM, Ham FM, and that's your special code to see it free for a very
you can see
time.
And it's also, Jim, it's for the whole channel. You can watch their entire library. It's 1 month free because they're hoping you stay, of course. So
Right.
I don't know if you might have to put in other information, but you could cancel that or stay because it's great library. But later, as we said, it will be on other platforms and be able to buy and rent. But you have no excuse, people. If you've been watching this, you must be somehow remotely interested in my work. So you have no excuses. So you have to go see this because it's free.
You heard it from Sam. He has spoken. what he said. Oh, hey, this will make your night. Sam looks exactly the same as he did in the 80s.
That is such a lie, Dwight. I love you, but you're a liar.
He has all of your albums. He has everything. He's been posting throughout. He's got everything you've done.
Thank you.
Gary says, thank you, Sam. It's been a wonderful spending this evening with you, Jim, and the Levities. Our pleasure. Bobby Horowitz says, I've gained a couple pounds, but very few. Considering I'm not getting my usual walking in, I can help you keep your body in shape in simple ways.
I don't want to be in shape. And I do, by the way, I walk every morning about 6 miles. So I'm getting some exercise.
Absolutely. Willie, who's still with us late into the hour in Holland.
Right.
Sam, thank you for your stories and your songs. Mary Bishop says, thanks for a wonderful evening, Sam. You're such an inspiration. And Kathleen Walker in New York City, who's a dear friend. Sam, thank you for being there. You're an inspiration, an amazing performer. This made my day. And that's really great because she just lost her mother just a couple months ago. So she's...
I'm sorry, Kathleen. I'm sorry.
Loves when we have conversations that go deep and people share their lives and their stories. What are some of the things that continue to bring you great inspiration and blessing in your life that spur you on to want to continue to create in the way that you do for the good of all of us, Sam?
Well, my family. It's my everything. My focus of everything is my family, my husband, and my child. But I also find that I need, you were asking about cooking. I have to be making something.
Yeah, creative.
I have to be, if I can't sing, then I write. I garden, or I cook something, or I paint. There are paintings in my house that I've done. I need to keep having some source of creating something. And I mean, you were talking about reorganizing your closet. That I can't. If I sit, I will melt away. I could easily be that guy who sits. If I didn't have two dogs and a child and a husband and things that I care about, I would be that guy who sits pulls the covers over his head in the dark. I go that way. I can go to that depression. That's kind of innate in me. I think it's just like chemical. So I have to, and I have to seek inspiration. But those are the things that keep me going. I'm so lucky. I have great friends and great, brilliantly talented people. And you know what? It's funny because in my real life, I don't like to talk about myself. I am the last person at a dinner party. Yeah. I like to interview somebody else. I want to know what's going on with them. Right. I'm fascinated by other people. And so when I'm doing interviews, and I'm doing a lot of promo around the book and the film, and there's a kind of like, I don't want to talk about myself. But when it's a good interview and it's somebody like you and there's actual conversation, then I think subjects that come up that do really actually force me to think about how I do feel about something, or what my philosophy really is, or what is really important to me. And so you make something that is hard for me by nature really easy and enjoyable. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Sam. I really appreciate that. Some more comments coming in here. Harriet says she was at the Pasadena Playhouse tapings of Ham, and it was brilliant. Everyone, you must watch it. That's fantastic. She was actually there when it was being taped.
I know Harriet, and Harriet is a wonderful woman. Yeah. And Harriet has seen many, many of my shows. And she's always, when I see her face, it warms my heart.
Warms your heart. Mary Bishop, who's another wonderful Levity viewer. Thanks for a wonderful evening, Sam. You're such an inspiration. Denise says, enjoyed spending the evening with you both. Juanita in South Africa. Was an amazing conversation. Thanks, Sam, for spending time with us and sharing your stories. Bobby says, you are pure joy to me, Sam Harris. And Willie in Holling says, no, thank you.
Oh, I thought he was saying, no, thank you. Thank you.
A joy and a genuine soul, which, of course, is the best kind. And this really was wonderful, my friend. And I encourage folks again and I'll repeat it afterwards, the ways that they can make contact to find out more. Harriet says, thank you, Sam. And I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. And I hope whatever expectations you had were met, and that you enjoyed the time with me as much as I certainly have with you, Sam.
I have. I really have. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate these wonderful Levities, these wonderful people.
Well, you are definitely one of them now, and you are welcome back anytime. We'll keep the porch light on for you. Let's stay connected. Keep me posted on the amazing work that you're doing that inspires so many people as you continue to live your dream. Anything on the bucket list, anything you still have out there that Sam wants to do? It's on that list. It's something I got to do. I want to do.
I want my book to be a movie, though a new book. A film. It's such a movie. When you read it, it's a movie. Yeah. And I also like this TV show that I'm developing right now with some wonderful people. I want to see that happen. It's something very, very important to me. Yeah. And other than that, as it comes, it comes. Right now, I just want to figure out what I'm making for dinner for my family. That's the only thing ahead of me.
I heard it could be steak, maybe. And if
Probably
it is,
not.
And if it is it with onions and mushrooms and everything, or plain, or rare, or medium?
It would be medium rare. It would be with mushrooms.
Right.
And
I say that because these crowd, they're foodies. This crowd is a foodie crowd. They love food.
Oh my God! You come to my house. I made a beautiful ciappino 2 nights ago. I made a risotto with crab a couple of nights ago.
I'll bring the dessert.
No. We seriously do some serious cooking here. Serious.
I love that.
And also because it'll take 3 hours to make, and I need something to fill my days when I'm not.
Christine says, thanks for just an uplifting show this evening. Learned even more of your career. Extraordinary person with a huge heart to go along with your huge amount of talent and success. From Christine, Jennifer in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Sam, thank you for spending time with us. Fun night, Slancha, the Irish salute. Tina says, Sam, don't ever change. You're a treasure. And Dwight says, I can hear Sam singing Sugar Don't Bite. And Willie says, good night, boys. Jim, I see you tomorrow for our show tomorrow. Sam, I hope we do get together at some point and maybe
like that.
Break bread. That would be wonderful. Thanks for all of the time. Thanks for opening up and sharing about your life, your experiences, the incredible things that you're working on currently, the wonderful opportunities you've had in the past. And Bobby says, what a great show. Thank you. Our pleasure, Bobby, as always. Thanks for spending the time.
Thank you. And be well and be safe.
And a toast to you.
I have
there you go.
A drop left.
Cheers.
L'chaim.
Wishing you nothing but all the very best. You be well. You stay safe. Keep creating. Let's stay connected. And I hope we chat again soon, my friend. This was a real pleasure. Okay.
Absolutely. Much love. Bye-bye.
Levity.
Levity.
Bye-bye. The incredible Sam Harris, our very special guest on the Jim Masters Show Live. And thanks for all these great comments, everybody. If you want to know more, again, about some of the things we talked about tonight, of course, Sam Harris, Ham, a musical memoir, you can go to BroadwayHD.com, BroadwayHD.com. And you just type in the code. There's a special code where you can actually see it for free for a limited time. There's the code. See it on the bottom left of your screen, HAMFM. So you type that in and you get a chance to see it for free. That's a limited time. I think it's like for a month or so. And so we're in January 2021 right now. So about a month. It's not an endless promotion, but it is for about a month. So you can check that out at BroadwayHD.com. And of course, his personal website is samharris.com, samharris.com. So the clips you saw tonight came from this, Sam Harris, Ham, a musical memoir, The Glitter, the Glamour, the Gutter. I mean, really incredible. And the rave reviews. This was on stage in New York and in Los Angeles, and it was captured and filmed in Pasadena, California. And of course, the book, a lot of people asking about the book, which does, in fact, I saw this. I saw the thing in the entire production in its entirety and the whole thing. And it was really something. It really knocks your socks off. So you're going to love it. I recommend it. And then the book he was talking about, which as you can tell, he's very passionate about, really a labor of love for him. The Substance of All Things, a novel, really cool. And again, that's, you can get that on Amazon and all the usual places as well, and Audible. And don't you love this? Bernie Sanders. That's Bernie Sanders at the inauguration. That picture went viral. And Sam was able to work it in there. We're going to have a little word or two before we wrap up about the wonderful Larry King who passed away. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But we really appreciate all the time that Sam has shared with us this evening. Again, going all the way back to even before when he was on Star Search, hosted by another television legend, the wonderful Ed McMahon. There he is with Ed McMahon. And of course, he won Star Search back in the mid-'80s, $100,000. And that just set things off. There he is on Star Search. That set things off for his extraordinary career. But again, he was very passionate. He left Oklahoma at age 15 and set out for the big leagues, LA and New York. And of course, his wonderful husband and his son, wonderful family he has there as well, which you talked about. Connor, his son there, and some cool shots from the past we were going through a little bit through memory lane. Cool shot there as well, which we used for the promotion. There he is again in New York City doing his thing. Cool shot from the 80s, which we looked at as well. And of course, did he belt out Over the Rainbow or not? And when the technology sort of had that little bit of a hiccup, which happens sometimes, you know, the internet could get a little funky. He belted out Over the Rainbow for you guys, which was a real surprise, wasn't it? I'm sure you enjoyed it. Cool shot there too, as well. And again, a pleasure to have him. He's multi-platinum recording artist, brilliant actor, award-winning Broadway, television, film, stage, music. And again, there you go. There is the musical memoir one more time. Sam Harris, Ham, musical memoir. And we're, proud of what he's doing and really cool stuff. And again, there is the book, BroadwayHD.com, and then type in HAMFM for the free trial. And then The Substance of All Things, you can find that online as well. So we thank Sam. We also salute somebody who passed away today, who is a legend in the television, broadcasting industry, radio industry, media, entertainment, and so much more, the incomparable Larry King. I've always admired Larry, and you may remember just a few months ago, we did a tribute to Regis Philbin, who was somebody that I actually had an opportunity to know personally and who was wonderful. And we've lost some of the greats in the last few months. Larry King, Alex Trebek from Jeopardy, and so much more. The brilliant Hank Aaron, the amazing baseball legend, just died 2 days ago, Hank Aaron. And of course, Regis Philbin before, and now another broadcast legend. 50,000 interviews. Larry, 50,000 interviews, 60 years on television and radio, of course, known for 25 years on CNN and his show Larry King Live, where he interviewed just about everybody. His style, warm, effortless, engaging, calm. He never was political. He never took sides with anything. He let people speak, and he was very engaging. And an illustrious career, many years on Mutual Radio Broadcasting Network. And the last name King actually was selected, recommended to him, and it was not his real name. That name King came from a liquor store, I think in Brooklyn, New York, where he was from. They wanted him to come up with a different name, so they picked King, and it was actually from King Liquors. Lawrence Harvey Zeiger, born November 1933, and he passed away today, January 23rd, 2021. American veteran, legendary. This actually has been a global, international story. Legendary American television host, radio host, spokesperson, recognized with many awards, including 2 Peabodys, an Emmy, 10 Cable Ace Awards. He began as a local Florida journalist and radio interviewer in the 1950s and 60s and garnered prominence beginning in 1978 as a host of The Larry King Show, an all-night nationwide call-in radio program heard on the Mutual Broadcasting System. And from 1985 to 2010, he hosted the nightly interview television program Larry King Live on CNN. From 2012 to 2020, he also hosted Larry King Now, which aired on Hulu, Aura TV, and RT America. He continued hosting Politicking with Larry King, a weekly political talk show which aired weekly on the same 2 channels from 2013 until his passing, 2021. He passed of complications due to various illnesses, but COVID-related, unfortunately. Born in New York City, an avid Brooklyn Dodgers fan, and when they took off and went to Los Angeles, stayed a staunch Dodgers fan. And of course, we just lost legendary baseball manager Tommy Lasorda just about a few weeks ago. He passed in Beverly Hills, California. Originally from Brooklyn, New York, he was one of 2 children, and his mother was a garment worker, and his father a restaurant owner and defense plant worker as well. And he attended Lafayette High School, public high school in Brooklyn, New York. His father died of a heart attack when he was only 9 years old. This resulted in Larry King's mother and brother going on government welfare. King was greatly affected by his father's death, subsequently lost interest in schoolwork. Of course, after graduating high school, Larry worked to help support his mother, and from an early age, he desired to work in radio broadcasting. He was also a CBS staff announcer, too. His career just was extraordinary. 50,000 interviews. I've interviewed myself about 6,000 people so far in my career on television and radio. I was calculating about 6,000 people from all walks of life in my years on television and radio, in so many different, venues, stations and networks and shows. 50,000. Could you imagine that? And still going strong. And CNN is, they have a special tonight that they're airing. We're actually DVRing it so we can watch it after this show. But truly a legend, one of the greats, class act, and with polish and grace and humor. He said you have to have passion, you have to have humor, you have to let the guests speak. And that's how I do it here on this show and in all of my professional work as a television and radio and multimedia stage personality. So we salute the one and only Larry King on the day of his passing on January 23rd, 2021. He was 87 and still going strong. But he lost his one of his sons. He has several children, but he lost one of his sons, and his daughter, I believe it was in 2020, one of his sons passed of a heart attack, and his daughter died of lung cancer. I believe it was last year. So that's a lot to take as well, but he was still going strong. So again, our condolences to the family of Larry King, the thousands and thousands of fans around the world. Another one is gone. I'm sure Larry King, as I posted on my Facebook page at Jim Masters TV and also Instagram and Twitter at Jim Masters TV, a little bit of a tribute. And I said that probably Larry King right now is in heaven having a lot of laughs with Regis Philbin and with Don Rickles. I don't doubt the three of them are on stage somewhere in heaven performing for the angels together, and they're knocking him dead, literally. One of the best. And yeah, I like, that's an interesting way to put that. Another big tree that has fallen. That's the first time I've ever heard that expression, Juanita. I really like that. Bobby Horowitz, I'm so blessed to have known these wonderful legends. Larry King was so kind, wasn't he? I agree, Bobby. Larry King was an amazing talk show host. Yeah. And like I say on the Jim Masters Show Live, we're bringing back some of that old school way with warmth and inspiration, letting the guest speak. Like tonight with Sam, I'm sure you learned things about Sam Harris that you didn't even know about, whether you knew him personally for years or you were a fan of his. This is the kind of work I love doing, the most, I think, is when I get a chance to connect with all of you and allow the guests to speak and share, because I think we all learn something. You know what Larry King once said? Larry King once said he never learned anything when he was talking. I love that. Just think about that. Do you ever learn anything when you're talking? I mean, there's certain things probably you can think of about yourself, but you learn something when you converse with others, and we all have something to learn. We all have something to give. Absolutely. Denise says, a legend that will be missed, but never forgotten. Yes. Larry King, Regis Philbin, Alex Trebek, Hank Aaron, so many great people too, Bobby Horowitz loved Don Rickles. They'll have fun together in heaven. I'm sure they're yucking it up, Regis and Don and Larry, probably with Toady Fields too, and Phyllis Diller and Rodney Dangerfield, right? And yes, Kevin Spurtas is with us on He's coming up next week, and you know him from Days of Our Lives and One Life to Live and the movie Friday the 13th. He's coming up on our show as well next week. I know you guys are all excited about that. So I'm really excited to let you guys know that he's coming. He will be here on the 28th, January 28th. We've got an amazing array of people coming up. Tomorrow, we have an extraordinary dancer, actor, and singer, Nikita Burstin. He's been in off-Broadway productions. He's amazing, really amazing. He is here tomorrow live on the Jim Masters Show Live. Don't miss it. Another great show, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. And then we have another wonderful, wonderful actress and singer, Kristen Towers Bowles, is going to be here on Monday. That's right. She is a brilliant singer and actress. She's all excited. She's here Monday live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And then, you know who's coming on Tuesday? Anson Williams from Happy Days is going to be here. That's right, live. He's got a wonderful story to tell, and he did this wonderful project during pandemic that he's going to tell us about during the pandemic, and also, of course, his many days with Happy Days. Actually, he's here on Wednesday. He's here Wednesday. So look for him on Wednesday. I keep saying Tuesday, but he's here Wednesday. Tuesday, we have Rebecca Harkin here. Rebecca is a brilliant Irish singer and songwriter. She's going to be live from Australia. She is the sister of Keith Harkin, from originally from Celtic Thunder, very popular group. He has his own brilliant career, and we interviewed him. He was a guest in December on the show. You can see that. You can see that episode and all of the past episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. If you're on that now, please subscribe to it. We would love it. Click that notification bell too, so you don't miss any content. Rebecca Harkin will be here on Tuesday. She's going to perform live. She's an amazing Irish singer-songwriter. She's going to be live from Australia. So when it's Tuesday night here, it's going to be Wednesday for her. Now that's going to be a very special time, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. We usually do our show at 7. That's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. So don't miss it. Then on Wednesday, Anson Williams is going to be here from Happy Days fame as well. And we look forward to that. Then on Thursday, Kevin Spurtas, you know from many years as an actor on Days of Our Lives, One Life to Live. He was in Friday the 13th. Brilliant actor and so much more. He's going to be here on Thursday. Then on Friday, wonderful author and life coach. She's going to be joining us. Sterling Meyer is going to be here. We very much look forward to having her on the show. She is brilliant. On Saturday, Broadway star Nikenje is going to be here. She is fantastic. She's full of life. This is the first on-air conversation and interview for her in 2021, our show, the Jim Masters Show Live. So I'm very honored about that. Nikenje is going to be here, an amazing Broadway star and performer, singer and actress and producer. She's going to be here a week from tonight. She's going to be here on Saturday next week. If you missed last night's show, we had dream analyst Patricia Eltinge on the show, and she was analyzing our dreams. She's a wonderful author. If you missed that, she was live from Los Angeles. Go back in the archives on Jim Masters TV, and you can see that. And these are just some of the incredible guests we have coming up on the Jim Masters Show Live. Dwight would like to see Adrian Zmed, Fred Dreyer, Chandler Massey, and some of your favorite stars coming to the show, Jim. Well, put the word out. Spread out that word. We've got a lot of feelers out for a lot of different guests. Nikenj, isn't she amazing, Bobby? She is the best. She is the best. We did a fantastic conversation as my special guest, John Lloyd Young. We had a great time. He loved it, and so did I. Hopefully he'll be back soon. We'll have him back soon. I know you love that conversation. And Kathleen Walker says, I always look forward to your shows. All your guests are terrific. I appreciate that. And I love when we have our conversations too. When we have our relationship, host and viewers, levities, friends, which all of you truly, truly are. Thanks for all of these comments. You are amazing the way you fill your evenings. Thank you very much, Bobby. I love that. And any of you who missed my terrific episode with Bobby Horowitz, boy, did we have fun. You can see that on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV and all the episodes. Yes, I agree. Alex Trebek was a gem, and he was a gem to you as well. Joan Rivers as well, and Phyllis Diller, and so many people. Kathleen says, thank you for a wonderful show, Jim. Really enjoyed it. Have a great night. Good night, all. And you as well. And Sam had a good time. And I don't know what happened where the internet went a little hokey, but he was still on, which was great. And we do that. You know, he's good at that. I'm good at that. The show must go on. And he sang for you, which I think was fantastic. Christine Clifton in North Carolina says, thank you for your beautiful words paying tribute to Larry King, one of the best. He sure was an iconic television and radio host for decades. One of my favorites, Larry King, Johnny Carson, Dick Clark. I like Ryan Seacrest too. I think Ryan Seacrest is really good at what he does. Ryan has some of the old school sensibility. Dick Clark took Ryan under his wing, so he learned from one of the best. Ryan has he can be light and fun and do whatever it takes and wear many hats. But he also has an old school polish about him a little bit that I think is really, really cool. And I'm similar in that way with some of that old school polish, yet you still can click in with the modern vibe and sensibilities of today, which is very important. And I think Ryan does a great job and really in everything he does. He's very talented, Ryan Seacrest. Jim, you are also a treasure, so kind, so inspirational. You always make me smile. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate that very much. Bobby says, thank you, Jim, for your kind words. My pleasure, my friend. Thank you very much for being with us tonight as well. So again, tomorrow we have the incredible dancer, singer, and actor, Broadway and so much more. Nikita Burstin is going to be here live from California. And we're looking forward to that. Oh, maybe he's in New York. I think he's in California right now. He's originally from San Francisco, but we are very happy to have him here. Jennifer says, thank you, Jim, for reading my comments last night. Oh, the Dream Show, the Dream Analyst. When Patricia was on, she was amazing. Much appreciated. My pleasure. That was a very interactive show, wasn't it? We all learned about our dreams and what our dreams mean and the meaning. And her book, The Dream Class, that she sent me, really is amazing. And of course, who enjoyed himself tonight as we're talking about legends. George Burns was with us this evening. Did you watch the episode we did with Hollywood and television and Broadway and Vegas legend and so much more? Julie Budd, she was with us 2 nights ago, and she was amazing. And we sang happy birthday to George Burns. He was 125 this week. Could you imagine that? So Julie Budd, who again worked with some of the greats, Frank Sinatra, Danny Thomas, you name it. We sang happy birthday together, and we had a wonderful conversation, an episode. You can see that on our YouTube channel. And she wrote me this personal note. She absolutely loved it. She said it was one of the best interviews she's ever had. And she's been on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, you name the talk show, she's been on it. So I really appreciate those heartfelt and kind words. Usually we chat with the guests after. They don't just go away. Usually the guest and I chat after the show and we stay connected. Wasn't that great, Bobby? Yeah, you were there. George Burns was great. Julie Budd is amazing. I adore her. That was such a fun show. It was a fun show with you too, Bobby. You'll be watching George Antenna TV, George Burns and Gracie Allen, the Burns and Allen show. Antenna TV is great, isn't it? All the classics. Did you see the reruns of the Paul Lynde show, Gary? He had a short-lived show. You know why that show was created, Paul Lynde? Because Bewitched ended its contract a year before they were supposed to. So the producers of Bewitched still had a contract with the ABC television network that had to be fulfilled. So William Ash and the rest of the gang had to come up with a show. And Paul Lynde, of course, was Uncle Arthur in Bewitched. And they created the Paul Lynde show, which I thought was hilarious. I thought he was great in it. But it only lasted like a few episodes, like one season, maybe half a season. Yes, Ryan Seacrest is great. He did one of the nightly radio shows a couple years ago, and I enjoy listening to him. Other hosts that I really appreciate, some of the veterans in the business, some of the ones who paved the way, and there are some current ones today. We all bring something unique, and hosting is something that I love doing, hosting, presenting. I also love the journalistic side. I have a news reporting background as well, anchoring background, lots of years of radio. And I just love engaging with people and inspiring, just like Sam Harris does. Thanks for an inspirational and nice evening together. The show on Dreams was terrific last night. Good night, Jim and Levity friends. See you tomorrow. Good night to you as well, Christine Clifton in North Carolina. Paul Lynn show, and then lots of luck with Dom Louise. I know. That was a funny one too. And what Good Morning World? That's another one, I think. Check out Tubi. Tubi, Tubi is another. We get it. We have Comcast Xfinity, and we get that. And there's all of these nostalgic TV shows and movies and documentaries on Tubi, and it's all free. I think you'd love that too, Gary, if you like some of the classic stuff as well. Some really cool stuff. Mary Bishop says another great show. And guess what? Well, I'll mention it tomorrow. There's a legendary pianist who's coming on our show pretty quickly, February 6th. The legendary pianist, Dino, Dino. Dino is amazing. He's been around many years. He has sold millions of albums, and Dino is coming on our show, and he's going to perform live with his wife at his grand piano from his home on February 6th. We're going to actually, on February 6th, which is a Saturday, we're going to have two shows. Lynn Hillary, who was with Celtic Woman and who has a brilliant solo career, who's also a close personal friend of mine, is going to be with us on Saturday afternoon on February 6th. Lynn Hillary, yeah. Again, brilliant Irish singer and songwriter, producer, performer, musician, also a teacher. She's in Ireland as we speak, and she was with Celtic Woman. She's going to be with us on February 6th. That's only about, a week and a half from now? And then that night, award-winning, incredible pianist Dino is going to be with us, and that's going to be absolutely amazing. And I know you guys are going to be excited about that. Denise says, wonderful and inspiring show. Good night and have a great evening. You as well, Denise. Thank you very much. And Bobby says, Ryan was a good friend of mine for a long while. I would say he still is, but I don't get to be with him as much this year. He's great. Well, the next time you are with him, let me know. I want to be there with you. I'd love to compare notes with him. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You guys are the best. I appreciate all the warm comments and all the levity. Juanita says, thanks, Jim. Good night, everyone. Keep well. You too. And again, we celebrate our great guest, Sam Harris, and we celebrate the passing of Larry King as well. And check out all those great things that Sam Harris is doing. We'll have him back. He was a joy and a treat. Good night, lovelies. Please be safe and see you again soon. Yes, I love the Dean Martin celebrity roasts too. Did you ever see the one where Foster Brooks, who always would play the drunk, roasted Don Rickles because he was supposed to be drunk? That is a hilarious one. Foster Brooks was amazing. Ruth Buzzy with her pocketbook and all the celebrities. You can see those on YouTube, I believe. I have them all on DVD as well. The Carol Burnett Show, of course. And on Tubi, I believe, maybe YouTube as well, but Tubi has the Tim Conway Comedy Hour, which was short-lived as well, but they have that on Tubi, Tim Conway Comedy Hour with amazing guests. Yes, Dino is going to be on February 6th. He's going to be amazing, absolutely amazing. As always, folks, on the Jim Masters Show Live, we say a couple of things. We always say, don't forget to smile and share the smile with others. That's the best kind of contagious there is. Don't forget to share the levity as well and spread the levity around the world. And of course, find your Zen place. Sam said he lives along the coast. I do as well. here in the Northeast, in the greater New York area, between New York and Boston on the beautiful southern New England coast. And this photo here, people have asked, where was this taken? This photo was actually taken in New York, out east on Long Island. And this is the South Shore of Long Island. We were visiting Robert Moses State Beach and Park, and that's the Atlantic Ocean you're looking at. And it was a beautiful day and a sunset. And so that's the Atlantic Ocean. That's the South Shore of Long Island, New York, out east. And that is Robert Moses Beach and State Park. And of course, Robert Moses was responsible for many of the bridges in New York: Throgs Neck Bridge, Whitestone Bridge, Triborough Bridge, the World's Fair in 1964. He built the parkways on Long Island and elsewhere. He was a master builder, Robert Moses. So there's a lot of things named after him. But that's that beach on the South Shore of Long Island, New York. And that's Robert Moses Beach and State Park. And that's the Atlantic Ocean. So find your Zen place. My other Zen place, of course, is my work in television and radio and stage and multimedia, on camera, on air, behind the scenes, and all these years and all the different things and shows and projects I've had an opportunity to work with and still do. And of course, the ultimate is with loving family and friends, and also spending time with all of you. Don't forget to relax, gang. We always say that on every show. Relax, breathe from the diaphragm. It's so much more healthy for you. And love one another. And don't forget to love yourself. That's very important, because when you have the oxygen and you have the love of yourself, then you can share it with others. Talked about some of that tonight with Sam. Really great conversation with Sam tonight. Not an interview, a conversation. So don't forget to relax. And believe me, your host has to remind himself every once in a while to do that too. All right, gang, we toast you all. We love you all. We actually have two glasses here. We have this one, and then over here, we have hot chocolate. And you see, you can actually see the marshmallow still on top. You see it? The hot chocolate isn't hot anymore. It was hot. Now it's cold chocolate. We're going to have to heat this up. This is just water, and this is hot chocolate. I'm a two-fisted drinker. Water in this one, hot chocolate with the marshmallow that has pretty much collapsed. It's like a souffle that went. We're going to have to heat that up as we watch the CNN special, which we're DVRing, about Larry King's life. All right, gang, you're the best. What can we say? What a crowd. What a crowd. Rodney Dangerfield didn't get respect, but we do here, and I love it. Stay safe, everyone. Sending Levity. We really have formed an amazing show here, this entertainment lifestyle talk show series, right? I don't consider this like a stream or a podcast. This is actually like a television show, the way we do it. And with all of you brought in, bringing you guys into the fold, as opposed to me just talking to the camera, having you guys here makes it all the more rewarding and exciting. Stay safe. Sending Levity and hugs. Kathleen Walker in New York City. I heard Ryan Kelly from Celtic Thunder is doing better. He was dealing with COVID. I heard he's doing better. Dwight saying prayers for Dustin Diamond, who I remember from Saved by the Bell, right? I had heard that, sending prayers out to him as well, Dwight. Absolutely. Good to have you with us, Dwight. I know you love the show, and thanks for all your great comments too. Gary says, good night, Jim and Levities. Pop some popcorn and get ready to watch all the comedies tonight on Antenna TV. Levity hugs to all. Relax. Yay, Jim Masters. In caps, too. In caps, Bobby Horowitz. Thank you, everybody. We love all of you. We'll be back tomorrow with the incredible Nikita Burston, the wonderful dancer, actor, singer extraordinaire, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. All right. Cool stuff. This was really great. We loved it. All the clips and all the cool things we shared with you tonight here on the show. And thanks for all the interactivity and all the enthusiasm tonight. Really great show. I'm liking that shirt. Thank you very much. Do you want to reach in? It's very soft. See it? It's like a velvet. I have a blue one, which I wore on a couple of shows ago. So we figured we put on for Saturday night, we put on the red one. Kind of nice. It's very, yeah, it is. It's soft to the touch. Very comfortable, you know? Very nice. Especially when you're doing a show that's almost 3 hours long. You want to have comfort. You want to have things that are comforting around you and on you. Some of the tricks of the trade. Lovely hugs to you, Bobby. Thank you very much. And thanks for the compliment there. And Tina says, wishing you, Jim, and all the lovely family a wonderful night and stay safe. Tina, you as well. And everybody watching on the YouTube channel, if you haven't subscribed to it, we would love if you did, and share it. Tell all your friends about the Jim Masters Show Live. Many of you say, hey, what can we do to spread the word? Just tell everybody so more people can enjoy. If you missed anything, want to see this episode again, you can see it on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Good night, everybody. We love you all. We'll be here tomorrow. Hope you are as well. If you're not, we'll see you on the next one on the Jim Masters Show Live. Have a good night. You be well. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.